Welcome to episode 2 of MimiQA. Thank you so much for returning for the second episode presented by MimiQ Mark. We're going to go straight into the market. So enjoy. Welcome to episode 2 MimiQA. Hopefully I don't have to reintroduce myself every 2 minutes because my IT equipment keeps breaking down. So you usually get there before 10 a.m. before it gets busy. Yes, Sushi Comics, come down to the market. That's why I'm here, sat in my car this morning. You should absolutely come down to the market at your crazy time of 10 a.m. I mean, I'm here from about 5 in the morning. And you know what? When you wake up at 5 in the morning, you really start to question your existence. I wake up at about 5 o'clock in the morning. I've got to get here nice and early. I've got to pack the car. We've got to get here. We've got to then sit here and price cards. And usually I would have priced all my cards, but I haven't this morning. So I have a bunch of cards which from week to week usually do okay price wise. Now, it's not perfect. So every morning when I'm waiting to go to Tynemouth Market, I am waiting here and I've got my little price gun to one side and I will absolutely use that to price the cards. Now, this morning, unfortunately, I've not been able to this morning. So I will have set up and probably, Sushi, by the time you get down here, I will be pricing cards. I'll have my price gun out and I'll be doing a quick run around the store. So I do apologize for when you get down here at 10 o'clock. Like you say, I will be looking at my watch. And there is also party. Oh, sorry. I thought it said party. Sorry, Panny. I do apologize. You know, sometimes when you're doing these things live, crazy stuff happens when you say it. Party Panny. That's what you are now. Party Panny. Panny, can I see your sweatshirt? Can I see your sweatshirt, please? Oh, well, you said please. There you go. So it is a MimiQ hoodie, the official one from Pokemon Center. And because I don't know, recorded it the first time, I am not affiliated with Pokemon, the Pokemon company. I'm not affiliated with Nintendo, Game Freak, all of that sort of stuff. So that is now officially on the recording beside me. I've got a little device for those of you live on there. You can see my little setup here to one side. You can see Tynemouth outside there. My little setup recording. This is recording for podcast number 2. I can't believe I'm on number 2 already. In fact, I can't believe it. I should have done one last week or the week before. But I am absolutely here. One thing I have to say before going into some more questions: editing podcasts, video editing, a shout out to everybody who does that. You are the most patient, skilled individuals I have ever come across. I am unfortunately not that patient and my editing skills are awful. So MimiQA episode 1 isn't probably the best edited. However, what I did notice, and the reason why I'm doing the shout out, is I've started to recognize my own waveform for when I say, and that is the most annoying thing I think I've ever realized about myself. So, hi, everyone, welcome. I'm just talking about how annoying I am. So, I'm doing the MimiQA episode 2 recording, and people actually listen to this. I am so taken back by how amazing the Pokemon community is. There are people who actually listen to my podcast. So I have downloads, I've got views. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Apple Podcasts. You can find me on, there are other ones, but I can't remember what. Oh yeah, Podbean, the one I actually upload these things to. So you can find me on Podbean. But people actually listen. And I met somebody the other day who listened to the podcast, and I thought it was probably the most cringe thing ever because you shouldn't love yourself that much where you want to listen to your own voice. And actually having to edit my own voice and listen to my entire podcast, it is the most cringe thing you've ever got to do. And I recognize every time I say now. So yeah, this is going to be the podcast now. Me recognize my voice. So what we're going to do for episode 2? Well, it's just after 6:30 in the morning here at Tynemouth Station. There is some stories we can go into, some Pokemon stories, and there is also the usual. Let's just see what the people say. Where is that hat from? This is Pokemon. So welcome, Noodle. So there's a person called Noodle in the chat there saying, where's this hat come from? This is a MimiQ. So this is a MimiQ, number 778. And the hat itself, I sell at the market stall. So this is a genuine diffused hat, a genuine Pokemon product. And I've got it at the stall. So come down and get it. But, good retailers will have this hat, but it's been out for a few years now. Mine's a little bit worn, so mine's a little bit worn and torn. But I do have some brand new ones now. They're in boxes back here, so I'm ready to go at the market stall. And it is so cute, right? It is like the cutest hat ever. Now I've modified my hat slightly, so I got conscious of my head size. It's so large, but I started sticking little badges onto my hat. So I've got little badges and little MimiQ stuff all over the place. So I did modify my particular hat. Now the hat modifications need to continue. I've got loads of badges. I've got Magic the Gathering, the badges and stuff as well. But it is a fluffy hat. It is, it's a fluffy hat with fluffy ears. It's a really cute hat. I got it from a local shop, Northumbrian Tin Soldier in North Shields. They seen what I was doing. They knew I was going to go down to the market and start to do Pokemon sales. So they said, well, you're going to need something that stands out, right? And they give me this hat. I got this hat for free from Northumbrian Tin Soldier in North Shields. Now, they do have more hats. There is more Pokemon hats. I don't, MimiQ is not the only one you should be wearing on your head. I think they've got probably Pikachu's. There's Eevee hats in existence. I know you can get Umbreons and Bulbasaurs and all of that sort of good stuff. Slowpokes and Psyducks, I think they do in the hats as well. You have a Funko. It's also what? Yeah. So this is a MimiQ. Now the backstory of the MimiQ, I've always got to go into this. I'll probably do this for every podcast. The backstory of the MimiQ is that the MimiQ is a very sad and lonely creature. It has a sack over its head, probably not too dissimilar from this hoodie. And its little eyes are actually, so when you see a MimiQ, its little eyes look like the sort of lines on its belly. That's where the eyes are. And the head thing is just like a thing that just kind of sags to one side, and its tail is actually a little stick that it holds to try and mimic a MimiQ tail. So it's so cute, but absolutely tragic at the same time, if I could get that word out. Tragic. Very, very tragic at the same time. Now, why is it my favorite Pokemon? I tried to pick a Pokemon that was out there, which wasn't a Gen 1, so there wasn't going to be loads of Pokemon cards that I had to collect. And unfortunately, I picked something which, it kind of echoes Pikachu because of the way it sort of looks. It wants to be loved, the MimiQ, so it tries to mimic the poster child of Pokemon. So it's got the Pikachu sort of look to it. But actually, it just wants to be loved, and it can't be seen if I should be unalived, apparently. And you've got to use the word unalived, because, I'm sure the algorithms will pick that one up eventually. But yeah, so how are you all this morning? How are you all? You must be all amazing this morning. It is 6:20 on this Sunday morning, Sunday the 14th. I had to check my watch then. Sunday the 14th of September. Yes, good. I got that one right. And we are all ready for Tynemouth Market. Oh my goodness, what has happened in the last couple of weeks since episode 1? I've already mentioned the recordings and all of the craziness and hoops you've got to jump through to get a podcast out there. So that was an interesting experience. That was an extremely interesting experience, trying to get a podcast registered and deal with the RSS feeds and all of that complicated techie stuff. It was so interesting to do. And then what else happened? Card Market happened. So only as of a couple of days ago, I am now a Card Market seller. How amazing is that? So on Card Market, you can find MimiQ Mark and you can find the cards that I'm starting to push out there. Now they require a lot of administration. It's not the most easiest of things to do whilst you hold down a day job at the same time. So your day job obviously comes first. Your family also comes first. Absolutely. But then it's Card Market and Pokemon cards. So I've got Star Wars Unlimited. As soon as they do Gundam, I'll have Gundam on there because I've got loads of big cards from Gundam. And Pokemon, I've got a few cards on Pokemon. And yes, there will be some big cards start appearing under my Card Markets. That was really, really fun to do. And I made my first purchase on Card Market. So I don't know if you've ever bought anything on Card Market. Very, very, very strange experience. But Card Market itself is really good for values. So I would say a piece of advice to all of you out there: if you are going to start to purchase Pokemon cards, look at Card Market. But also don't get too hung up if a card is slightly higher or slightly lower than what you see on Card Market. There's lots of filtering you've got to do. There's lots of feeling and emotion around Pokemon cards, but Card Market is a good guide. If you've got a card on there that's between £1 and £6, you should be paying maybe between 3 and 10. You've got to include postage when you think about values of stuff. So yes, and fees. There's always fees wherever you go. Even on this marketplace that I'm going to now, Tynemouth Market, a brilliant place to go. But stall holders don't get the pictures for free, so there's always a bit of a cost associated. Now, it doesn't mean to say you go crazy, but we all do a good job down here. It is an amazing place, and I'm so glad they were open dead early this morning when I got down here. So yeah, that was absolutely great. So shout out to the viewers all joining in. Thank you very much for those of you who always comment on the hat. I am so glad I wear this MimiQ hat this time in the morning. Where would I be without a Sunday morning and this crazy hat on? I don't know where I would be without this crazy hat on. But the hoodie, yeah. So the hoodie is new this year. So the last couple of years I've done it. Well, you know what? I think the first year I didn't even wear a proper MimiQ hoodie. I didn't even have a hat. It was just me, a table, my mother-in-law stood there selling crystals of all things originally, until we got a tiny little place on the market stall for Pokemon cards. And then, as the crystals kind of went, it all just became Pokemon, and that just sort of took over. Pokemon itself took over our world at the market stall. So yeah, that was amazing. But yeah, I never used to wear this particular hoodie. Certainly not my other sort of fake product sort of hoodie. My mother-in-law got me that as a gift once. So that was lovely. Lovely person is the Mima. Evie Eve, as she goes by. So since I mimic you, Mark, she may as well be Evie Eve, right? So episode 2, what else are we going to talk about this week? Maybe some Pokemon news, possibly something to do with upcoming markets, and possibly something to do with how inadequate I am at doing podcasts. That will be a running theme throughout all of these episodes. So thank you very much for those who tune in on the lives. You know what? The people on the lives actually make my morning. So those of you, shout out to those of you who attend TikTok lives of any shape or form. You're flicking through a TikTok live, you find a weird guy like me with a hat on, and you just decide to talk to me and be nice. I've not really met anybody that negative ever on TikTok. I find it absolutely amazing that in the modern internet age, that there really aren't that many people who are horrible out there. Everyone's amazing. User, and then there's a bunch of numbers. Message me. I'll send you the warmest words of today. Oh, thank you. And then you find the solicitors. Solicitating. Yes, absolutely great. But wow, okay, 7:15 this morning. So stories and Pokemon news. Well, Pokemon news, we've got the mega sets. Obviously, the mega sets were delayed. Oh, it's so emotional having to go for a period of time without packs to open. And if there's some sort of feedback that anybody who listens to this podcast or sees this TikTok can take, is we need more stuff printed. Print old stuff. I don't really care as long as we can get it for roughly MSRP, right? We want to open our Pokemon products. Let me do a little scream into the mic. I'm going to do a little thing in the mic now. Are you ready for this? It's not ASMR. 2 seconds. Wait for the mic. There we go. Yes, we need to be able to open more Pokemon product. Now, the old sets, you don't. I remember them being released probably once every so often. I remember them being released, and ultimately, they weren't out that often. I think I've got a visitor to the door, so we have another market trade holder. Hold on, I don't think I've ever done on my podcast this morning. I don't think I've ever done an interview. I think maybe I need to start.
I'll leave you alone.
the best reaction, yes. Have a great day. Have a great day. Have a great day. Yeah, so we nearly had our first guest on the podcast this morning. So that was absolutely great. Another market trade holder. I was just going to say hello. How nice is that? There's one of the guys who sells tools. Get down Tynemouth Market. You know what? If you want some old tools, antique tools, he is the guy you've got to see. I think he's by the stairs in Tynemouth Market. But absolutely come down. Now, he was just trying to be kind. He looked so cold, bless him. He looked so cold. But he just came to the car there and was like, hey, you. Oh, you're on a podcast. Oh, wow. Yes, I am absolutely recording for a podcast this morning. So I was just talking about you amazing people out there in this Pokemon world, and we were talking about Pokemon product, and we need more of it, right? We absolutely could do with more. Now, Mega Evolutions and the second Mega set that's coming out, Phantasmal Flames, it's going to be so great just to get new things. Now, looking at some of the other box sets coming out soon, we've got the Moltres UPC coming out. That looks absolutely amazing. I think the colors for Destined Rivals were absolutely so spot on that is something that I would buy and then just treasure in a little collection. So that is amazing. I love it when they do stuff like that because you get the mats. I would open it up. You get the mat, you get the sleeves, you get the promos, and I think it must be the Moltres promo. I think is part of that. And then you got the Phantasmal Flames Charizard box coming out. Oh, that is the most gorgeous box. And I sound. I love it when you got someone called Notification join. Hi, Notification. Hi, Notification. Who's come on here trying to end the podcast? Well, let's say hello to Notification. Trying to warn me that I violated something. Hello. Wow, what a job. Somebody jumps on as a notification and then tries to end everyone's podcast by saying, a violation has been detected. Oh, Notification, I'm glad you're here to protect me. Thank you, Notification. And this will happen all the way through the podcast. There will be comments and there will be some amazing people. And sadly, there will be, oh, there's been a W violation. Oh, and he's now my number one listener. Thank you for the amount of comments you're putting in their Notification. Amazing. So, yes, we need more products. So, the Phantasmal Flames will be absolutely amazing. The Phantasmal Flames, I think it's the Mega Charizard as a promo card. Now, what will that do to the value of the actual Charizard card? Long term, it will probably reduce it in value. Absolutely. We've seen with the past Charizard UPC boxes, they don't always get the warmest reception. So they come out, you get a ton of packs in them. People buy them, open them up. I know that the last Sword and Shield Charizard UPC, it was the most awful thing to open. I don't know if you guys had the same experience. Tell me in the chat if you had the same experience. And say hi to people. Hi, Sierra May. Welcome. But it was the most awful box set to actually open. And I bought loads of them because I open packs, sell them here, sell the promo cards, so you guys don't have to. So you don't have to spend the £100 or whatever the RRP was to get a product. I will absolutely open it. You have a card for £15. I have the box and the mat. I sell the mat. Oh, love one. BB. Morning, BB. Thank you very much. You love my hat. Everybody loves that hat. How can you not love a MimiQ? I just don't know. Maybe it's the echo of a Pikachu. Maybe I do occasionally get, because maybe I've got these fluffy ears that are dangling from my head. I do occasionally get the "love your hat, mate" from people. in North Shields. And yes, I love them too, and I love their passion. And sometimes they go, "Oh, it's a Pikachu," and I'll be like, "No," and I've got to tell them the dark backstory of a Mimikyu. Yes. So BB, you play Pokemon all the time. Oh, BB, which Pokemon do you play? And by the way, I'm also recording for a podcast, so you are going to be in episode 2 of MimiQA, the most amazing podcast that there ever is. It's me just trying to figure out how to do podcasts. Which Pokemon game do you play, BB? Me personally, I play Pokemon Go. I also play Scarlet and Violet. I've played Pokemon Red when I was wee high. But yeah, it was absolutely great. I think BB's typing all of the games that they play. Now, other news this week, I was looking at the Nintendo website and I saw a pre-release for a certain Pokemon Z2A with the Switch 2. I may or may not have made a certain purchase for a littler creature within my life. And I'm not going to regret it because I love Pokemon. And you know what? Next year will be the next game. So next year will be the next Pokemon game as well. So ZA will be that stepping stone that we've seen from Legends of Arceus. That was a great game, great mechanics. You could kind of sneak around in the long grass onto a Pokemon, chuck your Pokeball at the Pokemon and catch a Pokemon. It was a great mechanic. And then Scarlet and Violet just kind of felt like it toned it down a little bit. I don't know. There was something about Scarlet and Violet, particularly, it had a bit of a glitchy launch, didn't it? I didn't ever find that experience. I found it quite positive. But I found Scarlet and Violet was great. I could get my Switch Lite. My daughter would play on her Switch, and it was absolutely amazing. You know, we could just kind of run around together. Oh, thank you, BB, for following. Thank you, thank you. I'll pop out and come back in. Okay, but you need to tell me which game that you find. Signal still gone. Can you restart? Oh no. Oh no, is my signal going? Or is it your signal? I don't know. Is my signal bad? Is my signal bad, people? Tell me. I mean, I know my podcast is going to be absolutely recorded fine because it is entirely offline. My my podcast itself is completely on a device beside me. I've got this little mic in my hand. It kind of gives you cramp when you're holding it. I don't think you're supposed to. But if you ever want to do anything sound effects wise, where something's going away, going away, going away, going away, and then coming back, coming back, coming back, coming back, the mic works really well. BB. So which games do you play, BB? That's better. The signal is back for you. Oh, I hope I could restart this. You know what? Tynemouth Market is a great place to be, but the O2 and Vodafone phone signals failed us for the last few weeks and are still failing us now. And they're failing our podcasts, our card readers, and all of that. Now, BB's just commented there, just Pokemon Go. Yes, it absolutely helps you get your steps in. And you know what? It is great for that. I remember when it first came out. Do you remember that? It first came out 2016, I believe it came out. I went down to Eden. So if you've ever been down to Eden, the big domes on the towards the south coast, beautiful place. I've got Pokemon caught from there, so it amazing memories. And Camelot Castle Hotel in Tintagel. I've got Pokemon that were caught just around there. That was absolutely amazing. But yeah, no, that will always be a memory of seeing this beautiful place, but also catching Pokemon at the same time. Maybe that was just a sign of things to come. So yeah, they've just updated it. So, get up to level 80. Oh, you know what? I've been playing for so long, but I don't play. I'm not dedicated enough to get some of these higher levels. So I'm like level 35, and I've probably not played for a couple of weeks. But I'm like level 35. I will occasionally jump in and join people, and if there's other people playing, I'll be like, yeah, I'll just join in. I'll give you some support, bro. But I am not. I'm just a casual player. You just got the number 1 gifter badge. Oh, amazing gifter badges. Wow. What else? You're the same level. Oh, BB. Well, if you find me on there, I think I'm MimiQ Mark on there as well. I don't know. I mean, happily you can share me numbers and I can be some sort of Pokemon partner and do the gifts. It is annoying when your people who gift do just disappear because then you're sending gifts, you're not getting them back, you're not completing your missions and the levels and all of that sort of stuff. Oh no, someone's getting lag. Oh no, am I lagging again? You know what? I've got something for this. I'm going to switch on my new EE SIM card. I've got a dual SIM phone, so let's see what it does. Let's see what it absolutely does. I will get into my other one. I will turn it on. And let's see if I get EE. Okay, so I have just turned on my EE SIM. Is that better for you? Now, this isn't an advertisement for any of the networks. It is absolutely not their fault around here. But I have just switched. I've got, this wasn't supposed to be a technology chat, but my phone does something really crazy. You can have more than one SIM in your phone that can handle the data and does all of that clever stuff. So I think we may be better now. So I've turned on my EE. This is proper advertising for them. It's not supposed to, I'm not being paid by EE or not being paid by any of the others, anything like that. Is it better now? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you know what? It was an extra like 25 quid, but I do this regularly. And unfortunately, I think I just had to make the £25 a month or whatever it was, payment. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, JJ, thank you. Oh, gifter. Oh my goodness, JJ, you're gonna. Oh, thank you for all the gifts. So for those of you who are listening in on the podcast, and JJ, thank you, top gifter of today. You are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Oh, you know what? The positivity I get from this crowd this time in the morning is absolutely amazing. So, for those of you who are just tuning in, I am recording for a podcast, hence why I'm holding this tiny little mic. When did mics get so tiny? I didn't understand this until I was looking to buy one. My my daughter has a Hello Kitty one that she's trying to earn at the moment, so she's trying to help me with sorting out Pokemon cards. And I said, you know what? If you help me with my Pokemon book, I'll give you £20, little child. I for my little 8-year-old, I said, if you help me sort these cards out, I will absolutely just give you £20 for your pocket money, right? And there was some tears. Kind of walked away. I was like, okay. So we are out in the shops, and she's seen this like little um sort of thing, a mic, like a Hello Kitty mic. And I said, that's about £20. I said, I'll buy that for you. I will absolutely buy that for you if you do some jobs. So trying to instill in her that she should be working. Morning, Dino Dinosaurs. I recognize that name. Morning. BB has just commented on there to do with my little story there. You binned or oh no. Wait, you know what? I hear that story every week, and for the podcast listeners, BB here needs consoling because their mother or mum, as they've been referred to, binned all of their Pokemon cards along with their brother's Pokemon cards like 20 years ago. Have you seen how much Charizards are now? Oh, everybody sort of looks back and cringes, right? When parents do that, it's like, oh my goodness, it is so. Those cards could have bought you a deposit on a house these days. They're not going to buy you a house, right? Post Malone has really kind of flooded the expectations of Pokemon out there. Amazing guy, but you should not be paying millions of pounds or even hundreds of thousands of pounds for cards. But yes, especially if you grade them well. So those cards that you would have had pretty much in near mint condition, right? You're talking if you were to grade them between a sort of 6 and a 10, they're worth a few quid. so yeah, be careful. I've got a few for sale today. Actually, I've actually got a page with 4 base set Charizards on varying conditions, prices varying from the £100 or so to like £300. But a really good condition Charizard can be like £400-500 depending on spirals and all that sort of stuff. Oh yeah, traumatized for life. So morning. So Dino, see, it's been an amazing day. You went to see you cosplayed as Kenny. I mean, that is an amazing day. And I hope you were swearing under that muffled voice, something like that, right? I hope we're talking about the same Kenny. Otherwise, it's going to be so embarrassing. So, blacksmith and workshop and wood workshop. Wow, Dino, you've got a right day ahead of you. I wish I was any good at woodwork. I've done a few bits around the house, extended door frames when there was a door purchased that was the wrong size. It wasn't me who purchasing it. It's a very, 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 very crazy story. But yes, I'm not going to blame anybody for buying the wrong size door. Absolutely not. Why? I would not blame anybody for buying the wrong size door. But when you live in an old Victorian house, you've got to, you've just got to go with it, right? These things were crazy, crazy dimensions. But I have fitted a door frame, I have fitted door handles, and you know what? Shout out to all of the craftspeople out there in the world who can do that job way better than me. I am absolutely awful, and I absolutely hate it. And you're following Art the Clown. I don't know who Art the Clown is. Send them links. Send me links. Oh, so you've got a right day ahead of you. So we've got a right emotional start and a right mixed bag this morning on this podcast. But yes, episode 2. How did we get here? How did we get to now me recording this podcast? I think a few weeks ago, some of you guys on this TikTok live said I should record a podcast, and now we're here. I'm doing it. I'm proving it. Episode 1 is absolutely out there. You'll find me on. I'm going to keep shouting out, right? Because I've got no adverts and stuff, right? So I may as well shout out. Podbean, YouTube. People were listening to me on YouTube. I've got my podcast feed to there now, and you should see this podcast come up within the next 24 to 48 hours. The annoying thing I've got to do is edit. So I mentioned at the start of this podcast recording the amount of times that I say and I do. I apologize to you all for having to listen to this voice. That is absolutely, it's the most cringe thing, isn't it? I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen your own videos, recordings, but you've got to have some confidence. Your voice, just like my voice, is the most beautiful voice out there. So absolutely record it. I had to get over the cringe. I had to have some confidence, and I had to recognize that waveform when I was editing. That was absolutely amazing, not so amazing. I don't know. But yes, wow. We'll keep your stories coming. Thank you very much. I always say mail them in as well. So we'll take an opportunity now on this particular part of the podcast to say this is episode 2. We've had some stories for episode 1. Just send them. Send me your stories. So we've just had somebody there as well say that their parents chucked out their Pokemon cards. That's probably going to be one of the most traumatizing stories we will ever have. And it comes out again and again and again. We have people come to our market stall saying our parents just threw them in the bin. It's just cardboard, right? As soon as you moved out, and you tried to start earning your own money, creating your own life with you and a partner, you don't need them anymore. It's taking up space in their attics or wherever these things are kept. And then there's the damaged ones. Oh, that story, it always haunts me, and I'm just expecting it to happen to me one day. You've had a hard day. Let's just say I've gone to the market. I've had a really hard day at the market and really, really tired. And in my MimiQA pocket here, because obviously this gets washed every week, clearly, I will throw it in the wash. And I've got let's just say a Reshiram SIR from the white set that's just recently come out. And yeah, that would go through the wash. Oh my goodness, destroyed, gone. That's it. Cards, got nothing, right? Sentimental value, emotional value, that happens as well. And I've seen the evidence of that from the likes of a Charizard card. I've also seen them where people go, "Oh, that's just a really cool card. I like that Pokemon, right?" And they'll have bought a card or they've had a card since they were a kid, and they put it in the back of their phones. Oh no, in a clear case in the back of their phones. Yes, absolutely amazing stories. Oh no, is the lag going crazy again? Oh no. You know what? It's Tynemouth Market at the moment. I hope it's not. I will probably I don't want to stop the data from one sim to another, but what happens is the data itself fights, I think. So I will just double check my data. Just be 2 seconds. This is obviously live. This is tense stuff for those who are listening in on the podcasts. I will be turning my data off on here. I don't even know how to find it on here. How do I find my data? Voice and data. I don't even know where to find. So if I turn off that line, I think that might do it. Am I still here for everybody? I hope I am. I hope I've not dropped anybody. Is everybody still here? What I've done is on that multi-SIM phone on the network which is causing problems, I just turned it off. I think they are trying to fight. I think the phone itself realizes that it can get some form of signal, but then when it tries, it just goes down. No, I don't think it is you, JJ, the jet plane. I absolutely do. I think it's absolutely me. And you know what? When you gift like you do, I will absolutely try and sort out my signal if you've got lag. So JJ, as soon as you get lag, just shout lag. And I will shout lag like that. So there we go. There we go. Great. Oh wow. You know what? This has flown by in episode 2. And sometimes I get to the end of these podcasts. Oh, thank you. I've got, what is that? What is that, JJ? Donut. Ah, donuts. They're one of my weaknesses. And you know what? I'm in a car recording now, and some of the other market trade holders may have just caught me going, donuts. I really don't need any donuts, and I am on a little mini adventure. Oh my goodness! Someone give me a hat? I had a hat and a mustache then on the screen. This isn't going to come down very well for a podcast. So all of those listening on the podcast, I think JJ transformed me there, and I had a hat with a mustache appear in the video. Thanks, JJ. I didn't know you could dress up the other TikTok people out there. Oh my god, that is absolutely amazing! I got a hat and a mustache. Just filling some of the gift gallery. Oh well, thank you so much. Oh, you know what? Honestly, you really don't have to spend. You don't have to gift. I mean, I would love it if like hundreds of people came into this and start gifting. Right, it'd be absolutely amazing. I would absolutely ditch my day job for stuff like this. But unfortunately, I can't. And you guys have got your own lives to manage as well. So I'd rather you guys look after yourself as well. You don't have to send anything to me. So, JJ, what are you sending me, JJ? What is that? It's a J. What is that? Oh, it's a TikTok. Is that a TikTok J? It looks like. That is amazing. I'm gonna have to check these after. Again, it's not gonna make for good podcasting. So just a little tour, because you guys are sending gifts and stuff. I'm going to give it a little tour now. I have just picked up my phone and looking straight at me in the car itself. I'm gonna go to my passenger seat with my lovely bag there. I've got my little light, and you can see the recording there going on at the same time. I'm hoping this is going to catch all of this podcast correctly, because if I don't, this may be. I may have to rip the audio from the TikTok somehow, but I do make snips. So thank you so much. You can just focus on the. Oh no! It's absolutely. You know what? The reason why I do this, JJ, is that I don't have anyone to talk to when I'm here. I do have a little mic that I could just use it if I do have sort of guests one day. So it is absolutely amazing. And you know what? Some people just like to listen to jibber jabber. And if I'm talking to JJ the jet plane on TikTok like I am now, that is absolutely fine. So this is MimiQA episode 2. We've probably got at least another sort of 15 or 20 minutes. Yeah, sorry, we've got like 20 something minutes left. Really, really good time. I'm having a good time on this podcast. What's this one now? So Dino the Dinosaur, all PP provide today, gloves, glasses, apron, loads of Pokemon stuff at Comic-Con yesterday. Oh, there was a Comic-Con. Where was the Comic-Con? So I'll let Dino answer that one. And then JJ the jet plane says, "You remember when I joined Toy All Jokes?" Yes, JJ. Shall we have a joke session dedicated to JJ the jet plane? The joke. Oh, that's gonna be all right. Tongue twister, right? Joke session presented by JJ the jet plane. And as long as they're clean, I will absolutely read them out. I like a good joke. Okay, let's have a joke session. But just before we do, Dino the Dinosaur says there was a Comic-Con in Darlington at Cornmill. There was a Pokemon card from Japan. Oh, love myself a Japanese Pokemon card. I do prefer English. I do prefer dealing with the English ones because when I buy a box, I'm not going to have the hit removed. Not all vendors will do that for Japanese stuff, but it will occasionally happen with some vendors, unfortunately. Hi, nice to be meeting you too. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so JJ, I'm hoping this is going to be a start. Yes, absolutely. So JJ has started with a joke. Are you ready? Are you ready for episode two's JJ the Jet Planes joke of the day? I went to the restaurant on the moon. There wasn't much atmosphere. Should I edit into this podcast? Ba-bumts. Oh, amazing, JJ the Jet Plane. Whilst you're typing more, I will just, and I'm sure all the podcast listeners are dying to hear more jokes now. You're from Nigeria, small nation. Wow. Okay, so Nigeria, that's pretty far away, right? I'm from the United Kingdom. I'm from the northeast, near a place called Tynemouth, and that's where I'm doing the markets. I'm doing my podcast now, recording a podcast just before I go into the market today. So I will do podcasts every week, and I will do TikTok lives talking to you amazing people every week. So yes, I think JJ is probably going to be typing in more jokes, and I absolutely so hope that the signal is good for you guys. Just for this podcast here and just for the market stall stuff today, I bought a second SIM card for the network that actually works down here today, whilst my usual network is having dramas. So yes, I absolutely threw in an EE SIM card today, unfortunately, because of the technical issues that are going on. Which you can search for these things. I'm not making this up. Dino was getting Pokemon plushes with keychains. There's a guy I know down the Tynemouth Market. He does mats. He does chains. A guy called Curtis, amazing guy, absolutely amazing guy, and he did a little MimiQ for me, and amazing. I love supporting my friends that do this stuff. He is absolutely so amazing, and that's why I support my friends who do art as well. So you will see the pictures I use now. So for the me doing the podcast, that is from a friend of mine called Beardy Knave, a guy called Tom. He goes by Beardy Knave on Instagram, so look him up. He will absolutely bang out some art for you and send you some art. But yeah, paid him for that art, and he also did the one where it's me inside a little toy box as well. So I paid him for that because he's just an amazing guy. So you ready? The next section of part two for MimiQA part two of the JJ the Jet Plane jokes. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the toilet? The P is silent. I so need to edit into dumts if I'm not already. So if you do hear a dumts, that is clearly an edit, and I do not have a drum kit beside me in this car ready to go into Tynemouth Market this morning. That is awful, JJ. Are these getting worse as the time goes on? I think, but maybe that's the good thing about a dad joke. Or you don't have to be a dad to tell the jokes, right? But what we call dad jokes, I think that's the there is a sad nature to them, right? So I've got people laughing in the chat. Morning, just scrolling through and sharing some positivity. Have a great live. Oh, thank you, Rolling Through Life. Oh, amazing, Rolling Through Life. Oh, thank you so much. Positivity. I really need this before going into market. I said at the start of this cast, you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you really start to question life. It is absolutely amazing. Oh, I'm gonna celebrate. I will absolutely celebrate, and I will absolutely tag that JJ. You become a level 2. Oh, you get different badges. I think JJ. I think you get different badges when you progress through my fan club. Oh, thank you, JJ. And JJ says they actually laugh at their own jokes when I say them. Do I articulate your jokes well? Is that what you're saying, JJ? Yes. But you know what? I do love what you can classify as a dad joke. I've got to be careful there. They're not just for dads. I just happen to be one, right? But they're not just for dads. They can be bad enough for everybody else as well, right? Absolutely amazing. Oh, this morning What an absolute morning this morning. You know what? I sometimes struggle to get out of bed for this thing. I don't know if you guys are the same. And I don't know how many of you are kind of lying in bed now watching this, but thank you so much for tuning into this particular one. And absolute shout out to JJ the jet plane there. Certainly for the fan club. Please join the fan club. I don't know what I'm going to do with the fan club yet. I need to do something, especially if I grow and become so successful. Yes, Ashley, I am in the car. Or are you in the car, Ashley? I am in the car. I'm not. I'm not actually driving though. Don't worry. I'm at Tynemouth Market. You can see me now, just outside there. I'm stood still. There's all my stuff ready for the market day. There you go. I wonder if that'll make a good caption, right? There's all my stuff ready to go. I have a mobile phone with two SIMs in because I need to make sure I've got the right data. I've got my iPad for recording. I've even got a little light down there. Look, it was dark this morning, so I've got a little ring light. Oh, the dark mornings, they're going to make it so much harder, right? So, yo, bro. Mark Wilson says, yo. Fan club Pokemon uniform. Yeah. So, okay. just reading now. It doesn't work very well from the podcast, right? But dad jokes are funnier coming from a dad, and I've never really had one. Oh, is that a joke or is that just a really sad experience, JJ? But no, I will be your father, JJ. I will be your absolute father. I've got to be careful what I say there. Start calling my you could call me calling me your MimiQA daddy or something. Wow, this is family friendly. So yes, fan clubs. You wish you could help out. Oh, Dino. Yeah. You know what? The ability to want to help people is a fundamental part of being a human being. You know, that's what sets us out, I think, from other creatures on this particular planet. We are amazing people, and you know what? I get such amazing people in this podcast. And again, shout out to JJ, shout out to Dino there, who's conversing. Shout out to Mark there. Morning. You share an amazing name, and I think JJ, you were just agreeing there with my statement before about that sad situation. Also funny, but sad in a very funny sad way. What mark is it? Yeah, so Tynemouth Market. Let me just explain Tynemouth Market. So there is a metro system in Tynemouth, not unlike any other kind of cities and sort of build-up areas. And the stations themselves were converted from, or at least a good portion of them, were converted from older sort of Victorian era train stations. So this is one of those, and the train stations around it, like Whitley Bay and so on, and Cullercoats. I nearly forgot its name there. They look like they are just from the Victorian era, and they've got glass roofs. And if you ever find a, yourself on Google, just type in Tynemouth Market. So as in Tyne, as in the river of Tyne, and mouth as in the mouth of the Tyne. So it's a really uncomplicated name, unfortunately. But yeah, Tynemouth and Tynemouth Market and Tynemouth Station. And I think the Victorians used to use it as some form of like arboretum. So it was like it had plants, it had flowers, nothing like that today. I mean, it would be very difficult to maintain that. I think in today's world, I'd like to think wealth is shared more around the common people these days. Victorians did it good though. Don't get me wrong, but it was probably a hard time to live. But yeah, it was a beautiful place. They took pride. Now, the owners of the station today run a market every Saturday and Sunday. So you can come down from, usually you can get in at 9, but I think the official time is 9:30. And it goes all the way to sort of 3, half 3. You will see people packing up at 3. So between sort of 9 and half 9 and then 3, you will find loads of antiques, old tools, bric-a-brac, but you'll find Pokemon cards. I'm not the only one. There are a couple more, and shout out to the likes of Aurea who go down there as well. They're a really big stall. They've been doing it for a lot longer than me. So huge shout out. I probably wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for people like them. But they are great, nice friends of mine. And yeah, there are such amazing stalls down there that sell amazing cards. It is a really great place. So let's look at who's give comments in here. Salute. So hopefully that was a good explanation. Tynemouth Market. Stephen _ paid. I'm positively changing the lives of the first 5 people to message me with the word facilitate. Ah, Stephen, I hope people. No, I really don't. But okay. Thank you, Stephen, for joining us here. Yes, you do get a really mixed bag on here, but generally you find the most positive people on my streams on a Sunday morning. People just coming wishing you well and then flying off. Morning from Liverpool there from Lieberboy. Yes, good morning. I'm across in Newcastle. There's probably some sort of football related banter to go back and forward there, but yes, love you all across that side of the world as well. Liverpool's a beautiful place, just like Newcastle. So, JJ, if I could travel to any planet for a day to explore, what planet would it be? I'm going to put a twist on this, JJ. And now it was a bit of a space horror type thing, but have you ever seen Europa Report? I would love to go to that moon. I want to say it's a Jupiter moon, and this is now going to challenge my kind of on a very early on a Sunday. I think it's one of Jupiter's moons, Europa, but Europa is believed to have an ocean underneath, and I would love to go to Europa. I would love to go on a space mission. You know, I would love to, and I think I've said this to my better half once. I would love to have just flown off to Mars or something like that. But unfortunately, I have responsibilities on this planet, so I wish. But yes, you know, especially if it was just for a day to explore, if I could, you know what, anywhere that was Earth-like, I think we have this innate, you know, core to us all as human beings that we just want to explore. I mean, some of us love to just stay in bed and play Pokemon games, right? Or but I think deep down, I think fundamentally as human beings, we wouldn't be here now if we didn't have that explorer amongst us. So I would love to go to any planet, but Europa, you know, if it was going to be something where I could just like shoot off in a spaceship today, Europa, Mars, help build a better future. Maybe do some podcasts from Mars. I don't think they would reach you within the next week, but you know, I could absolutely do that. Oh, it's wanting me to match up. Oh, thank you, TikTok, for making sure I'm a human being there. Thank you. If you could travel, no, we've done that one. So Dino Dinosaur, you do help wherever you go. Yes, Dino, because you're amazing, Dino. Just like JJ here, you are absolutely amazing. So JJ's not seen Europa Report. It, you know what, it is a bit slow, but it is quite good fun. You know what, I did like it. So JJ saying they're a flat earther. Now I don't believe in that, but you know, I'm happy that other people out there can believe in whatever you want to believe in. You know, I think we have to respect each other's beliefs, no matter what it may be. But yes. So wow, okay, wow, we're caught up with conversations there. Well, this has been an amazing podcast, and I think these first few podcasts I do are going to be more like this. It's going to be more general chatter. Like, follow, subscribes. I've got various different social medias. I am absolutely out there for the conversation. Now, I've let it slip earlier on in this podcast that obviously I do edit, and I try to cut out the that I always do. But the podcast, apart from that, is relatively genuine. I've thrown in a bit of music at the start. I do a bit of narration, you know, the first minute or whatever it is, and I've got some outro music. And those are random things and this is just a bit of a random fact now. Those are random things I made on GarageBand. GarageBand is an amazing application. It is really great. How am I live? How long? Blah, blah. If I get my words out, I'll not edit that out. That will absolutely stay in, JJ. How long are you live for? Probably for at least another 5 minutes or so. I've got to give my time to kind of prepare. I've got to get a bottle of water. You know, you've got to stay hydrated on these market days, so I've got to do that. But yeah, I've got to prepare. So at 8 o'clock, the trundling trucks, this convoy of marketeers, we all trundle in and start setting up, and within an hour or so, we're ready for you to come and browse our goods. So yeah, absolutely come down to Tynemouth Market. It is absolutely an amazing place. If you can't, that's absolutely fine. I will, if I can, start to try and do streams more and more from Tynemouth Market. I will absolutely try and do that more. but is in a lovely place. Now, JJ, I don't know if this is still your joke section currently. Do I like elephants? Yes, JJ, I do like elephants. I'm hoping this is part of it because I like your. Oh, wow, JJ, wow. Okay, so for those listening in on the podcast, JJ asked me if I liked elephants, and clearly I do. I mean, who doesn't like an elephant, right? And then my face on this TikTok stream became an elephant with a huge trunk and a big ears. I love the fact that because I'm doing a podcast, I've got to explain everything. If there's something I've not explained and you're listening to the podcast, please write in and complain. I will absolutely read out your complaints. Yes, absolutely. Any form of communication from fans or haters, I will absolutely read. So thank you very much. You can tell I'm not a famous celebrity because I will absolutely read and cherish and enjoy everything that you send to me. So thank you so much. Yes, and thank you for that elephant trunk. Wow, I now have an elephant trunk. Amazing. Wow. Dino Dinosaur wrote maybe if I like a Pokemon clock. Yeah, you know what, Dino? Obviously, I've got to meet you first, right? I don't just anyone on TikTok come down and help with my stall. That would be irresponsible of me, regardless of how nice you are. But absolutely, if you want to come down and stand with me for a day and kind of help out and see what goes on, absolutely just come down. I'm probably going to regret saying this, right? And it's probably going to be a clip that I'm probably going to regret for the rest of my market days. But absolutely, yes, just come down. Yes. So, absolutely, I want to meet you all. I would love to meet you all. I would love to meet people who listen to me or watch me on TikTok, and I've met a couple. Some, obviously people who I know, and people who, and then they've sort of seen me. But then people who I didn't know would listen to it, and yeah, amazing. Oh, you're just so beautiful people. You are a hard worker, Dino. I think Dino. I'd have to see your CV, Dino. I'd have to see your curriculum vitae. Yes, Pokemon. Do you know what Pokemon is? Yes. Okay. Well, that's that. You're past the first hurdle there. But there is so much about Pokemon cards that even when I got into this particular market stall, I probably didn't appreciate. It's so difficult, and absolutely, I'm going to do loads of shout outs. Shout out to people who run shops. So shout out to the Oria stall that we've got at Tynemouth Market that's sort of near us. Shout out to Northumbrian Tin Soldier. Shout out to Forbidden Planet. Shout out to all those people who run these markets and bring us all these sort of products, because we wouldn't have this hobby if it wasn't for people like that. You've got to be able to have your local game stores and places that are iconic. Forbidden Planet isn't a local game store, but it's one of those places where people can meet and chat over stuff. And Northumbrian Tin Soldier and North Shields, you can just go down there and have a brew. You can just go down there and have a drink and sit at one of their tables. Or like me, and this is probably more news, got into Gundam. Yes, I am now a Gundam player. Now it's not Pokemon, but it is a TCG. It's into its first set. Its second set is due out extremely soon, I think. And I play now on a Friday, Northumbrian Tin Soldier, and I came fourth out of 10 people in my last tournament. I'm so happy. I may have to start streaming some of these games that I start playing. So not only have I now recently got back into Pokemon pre-releases, so I've got a ticket for the mega pre-release. Obviously, Northumbrian Tin Soldiers and Shield, so it's just right around the corner for me. I can just jump in there. The guys are amazing, and they've sorted out me a ticket for the pre-release. That's great. So I'll be sat here in my MimiQA hat, and the mega set will be absolutely great. But yeah, Gundam every Friday. I'm down there. It's a lovely quick game. You've just got to play 3 people. You play them once, each person with your deck. But why this time? This is like the second one I was in. I won 1 game, lost 2 my first. This one I won 2 and lost 1. I built this deck from scratch. I used, I'm not gonna, I had to do a bit of a search to see which cards were quite cool. But actually, I looked through all my bulks because I bought loads of boxes. I want to try and sell some of the special cards. but from the bulk and kind of other the LR cards, which like mythics, they're like crazy Pokemon rare equivalent sort of cards. They are so beautiful, but the mechanics are great, and obviously it's only first generation of it, so it's really really cool. But yeah, my deck came fourth. Wow. And you get participation. I think if you come first, you get like the posh winner pack. So that's what I want. I want the posh winner packs, and I would do a recording and open it. Now there's like 10 other players there, and there's other people in the shop, so they all want to see you open your packs. So I would absolutely just sort of do all of that there for the people, because that's what it's for, right? I'm not doing it just for the likes, but I would record it so you guys could see it at the end of the day. But yes. Okay, so I'm just going down now. Wow. Okay, so loads of people have been chatting. Here we go. So JJ is sitting. You might one day come and tell a joke. Yes. You know what we need to do, JJ? We need to actually record several. So I could probably put in a snippet. So we arrange, not necessarily this session, but maybe other sessions, to have sort of guest speakers. So we could do like a quick kind of like a share just for a few minutes. You tell a joke. It's got to be clean, or you send it in a message or something, and I read it out. Or we pre-record them. So if you do ever come down, I will get my mics out, and we'll record several jokes, and and then I can just sort of paste them in. So yeah, that'll be absolutely great. Oh yes, Dino saying he's got to update his CV from what we're saying before. Yes, Dino, get me your CV. Oh, you got 4 jobs as well. Oh, Dino, you are so hardworking, and you volunteer. Oh, people like you deserve, honestly, the best from society, because you give so much, Dino. So thank you for everything you do, and thank you for that. You are amazing, and that's it. Your assistance travel champion, Oliver training and events admin. Wow. Okay, well done, Dino. So yes, JJ. Yes, we can pre-record. I'm gonna have to give you like a tenner or something. I'm gonna have to pay you for your jokes. I can't just take jokes unless you record that you have dedicated these as and you are not expecting any form of payment, and I can use them in my streams. Yeah, we'll capture all of that small print, right? Yeah, we'll get that signature. Oh, hello, Muzan. Welcome. So the likes of JJ here and Muzan, they are some of the original followers. They are some of the people who sort of backed me and spurred me on, and I did all this podcast stuff. So I am recording again. Now I can probably only record another few minutes. So if this podcast and if this live does stop, thank you so much. There is going to be a bit of an after chat just for a few minutes whilst I end the podcast itself. But it's been so amazing. Now, for the podcast, so this recording now is going to be just for the podcast. I'm going to stay on the live. So thank you all for listening on the podcast. I love you all, and I'll see you again for episode number 3 for MimiQA. Thank you on the podcast.